Greetings and welcome back. Today we've got a kit review. Thanks to one of our subscribers, Keith, for the suggestion. So what kit do I use for running and why? I've brought a selection of it so we can have a talk about it today. Okay, so much stuff. Where shall we begin? What about shorts? Now, for the most part, I wear shorts when I'm running because running generates, you're using your leg muscles, which generates heat, and you want to dissipate that heat. If there's one bit of your body you want to keep cool, it's your legs. And so I wear shorts. These days, I tend to go for a fairly short pair of shorts. Don't leave too much to the imagination. These ones, I was running out with Jason a while back, and he likes to run super early in the morning. And so I put them on back to front. And yeah, he said the view was a bit much. It was a little bit cheeky. These ones are from, these ones I got just off Amazon, TSLA. I've got another pair here. From Sports Shoes. I like their high estate stuff, their own brand stuff. Again, similar length, whatever it is. Pretty much the shortest short available. And yeah, and I had a misadventure with these as well, thinking about it. Back when I ran down at Tittisworth, I put them on inside out. And so I met a number of people along the way who looked quizzically at me, which sometimes you do get because they're going, has that bloke got a camera on his head? It was only when I got to the end I realised I had my shorts on inside out, so the lining was on the outside. Yeah, what a twit. Apologies if you saw me that day. So the shorts, normally I wouldn't wear anything underneath shorts because the running shorts have a liner built into them. They're comfortable, they're light. If you get wet, they dry very quickly. Yeah, so a short. Now, when I was heavier, these ones, again, are a high estate one from sportshoes.com. I would go for a longer short. And the reason for that is then you get chafing between your thighs, chafing together if you carry more weight, and that just helps stop them rubbing together. But a similar sort of thing. Now, when do I stop wearing a short and wear a legging? Probably when I get down to about 2 degrees C-ish, though it does depend on wind chill as well. Basically, because you can then start to get chapped legs, particularly if it's, hailing or snowing, you can end up with legs which are like corned beef and quite sore. So then I would reach for a legging. So I've brought a couple of pairs of leggings here. These are as old as the hills. And a lot of this kit, you buy good quality kit and it lasts for a long time. So a pair of Ronhills, do they even make these anymore? Ronhill's Tracksters. Very comfortable, great for running in. but I would only wear them if it was really cold. Another one pair here. Karrimor. Again, nice light material, dries quickly. Pocket in the back. All of these have got a pocket in the back. And then we've got the Arctic weather. So it's you look out the window, it's a winter wonderland, it's -10 outside. It does happen every once in a blue moon. And you go, crikey, I really want to keep warm now. And I've got these. I've had these forever. Fleece leggings. These ones are Helly Hansen. It's a Helly Hansen base layer, basically. Skin tight. If you remember that Simpsons episode where Homer meets Ned Flanders when he's skiing on the mountain, and Ned says, "Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all, nothing at all." These are skin tight, but they're very comfortable and they're warm. So if it's really cold, these are more for, I wear these more for walking, to be honest with you, when it's close to 0. But if it was a super duper duper cold day, I might pull these out. That covers the bottom layer. The top layer, again, I don't often wear a vest. Sometimes I do, but I don't tend to, because I normally wear a running vest, and you can get a little bit of chafe, I find, from a running vest when wearing a vest alongside it. And I don't find much of a difference really heat-wise between a vest and a t-shirt. So most of the time you'll see me out wearing, I don't know, a top from some race I've run somewhere. Just light material. Never wear cotton. Always wear this stuff that just dries almost instantly. And again, so when do I stop wearing that and start wearing a warmer layer? That I would say is about 6 degrees, something like that. I mean, this is something I do see. You do see people out running, I'm guessing newer runners, and they're wearing too much stuff. Really, when you go through your run, if you don't feel slightly cold when you're setting off, you're likely to end up feeling too hot on the run, and you'll sweat too much, and the heat will slow you down. So it's best to start feeling slightly cold, and then you'll warm up while you're running. And so, yeah, while I wouldn't necessarily want to be outside in just a t-shirt when it's, say, 6 or 7 degrees, for running, that's still great, because after 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes, you'll have warmed up, and then you'll be warm while you're running. But when it gets down to sort of 5, 6 degrees, then yeah, I would reach for a long sleeve top. So you might have seen me wearing, what brand was that? I see a lot of these things you probably can't buy anymore. I've got, I can't remember, what is the brand? I'll put a picture up over here of me running in it, because I did wear it back in January. It's very comfortable, long sleeve, just slightly thicker material. That's great. It's not too hot, but it just gives you a little bit of warmth. Another one I like is this. I've had this forever. It's a Nike fleece top, which has got, the sides are, we've got this sort of elasticated material for breathing on the sides. Again, they don't make this anymore. They do have their more modern fleecy Nike tops with their brand of whatever it is of fleece. That, you know, a long sleeve fleecy top, if it's like 3 degrees outside, is very pleasant. Yeah, so, but what about when it gets colder than that? Right, well, one thing is I will also always carry this. So say for example, and I'll have this, so in the summertime, I might be out wearing just a t-shirt and you think, the temperature's okay, it's 7 degrees, say. You go out and there's a wind chill and you get cold. I'll always have this with me and pull it out because it weighs next to nothing. Bear with me. This is it Innovate? I think it's Innovate, this one. Very light. It's supposed to be a waterproof top. I don't know that it's that waterproof, to be honest. And that's not really your skin's waterproof. So if it's just a shower or something, that's great. But really what I wear it for is as a windproof. When you go out in a t-shirt and you go, crikey, I'm getting cold, I'll put this on and that'll just take the wind chill off. So that's that. Yeah, so when it's getting colder, well, hang on, while we're talking about waterproofs, the other thing, if it was wet, if it's a wet day, I have this Montane Gore-Tex coat. Is it a Montane Spine, I think? Probably. They change the names of these things all the time, don't they? But it's worth spending money on coats, I think. The last thing to go through your mind before you die of exposure on a mountain really oughtn't to be, I wish I'd spent an extra 50 quid on my coat. So it's a Gore-Tex coat, so it'll probably last, it'll see me out. And the things I like about this is it's got zips under the arms, so you can adjust the heat to let the heat out when you're running. So you're waterproof, but you don't end up sweating to death inside because you can let air in. Great piece of kit. It's light, it folds down pretty small. I could easily carry that if the forecast looks like it's necessary. Okay, so yeah, anyway, moving on from the extra layers for cold, we come down to when it's freezing, 0 degrees or lower. And that's when I would switch from like the Nike fleecy top into the full-on winter gear. You'll have seen me wearing this on Run Adventure in the winter. This is a buffalo shirt. Okay, so it's got this big map pocket on the front, full mountain hood if you want, that's detachable, and you wear it directly against the skin. It's got this pile lining inside, so you just wear this, and again, like the Montane coat, the temperature is adjustable. So the side zip of 2 zips, so you can adjust the amount that it's open at the side to let the heat out so you don't get too sweaty. I find that great. This is made of Pertex, so it's waterproof, and you know, I've never been in a situation where I was cold, even in really cold winter weather, while wearing this. Right, so that's that. What's next? I suppose we should talk about shoes, shouldn't we? Now, I've talked about shoes before, so I'll link you through to videos on these where I talk more in depth. So my day-to-day driver will be a pair of Mafatis. So these are Mafati Speed 3s, are they? Yeah. I've had 3s and 4s recently. The 4s are nice actually because they've got better grip, and but depends on the price, doesn't it? When you come along, what's on offer. So the thing with these is they've got massive amounts of cushioning, so I can run for a long time with comfortable feet because I have fairly flat feet. They're a stiff shoe, with a rocker design, which I find really good for me, and they've got massive amounts of grip for running off-road because most of the time I run off-road. So that's my day-to-day shoe. So I'll link through to where you can watch a full video just about that shoe. And then for Workout Wednesday, it is important to go and do one faster session a week to increase your stride length, your cadence, your leg kick, just to get a bit faster and improve your running economy. And so for that, I have a pair of Carbon X's, Hoka Carbon X's. And so the key features of these are, again, lots of cushioning, very comfortable. You could run a marathon in these because they're so comfortable. And again, are very stiff, but these ones have got a carbon plate in them. And so it gives you extra spring in your step, which is nice when you're doing your speed work. Love these. Again, these last longer because I don't do that much speed work. I'll only do a session a week. And so, but when they need replacing, I'll just go and buy the same thing again. They're great shoes. So that's shoes. And again, I've done a full review of these, so I'll link through to that. What next? Race vest. I've got this Salomon Advanced Kit 12 race vest. Love it. I could do with a new one really, but I'm stony broke right now. Plug, please subscribe on Patreon. Lots of pockets, so I can carry whatever I need with me. And of course, when I'm filming, I've got my camera and tripod and all those, so I'll show you those in a minute. So it can carry for any sort of run up to perhaps, I don't know, 15, 20 mile run. I'll wear that, and I'll wear that almost all the time, just so I've got that windproof layer, just so I've got my phone, and it weighs next to nothing, and it's so comfortable. I love that, and I know there are lots of other options out there, but I love this one so much, I'll just buy exactly the same thing next time. So that's my race vest. What else have we got? Headgear. You'll have noticed I'm always wearing a buff. And so I'll take one of these. And yeah, so I have this one's from a race. This one's a higher state one from Sports Shoes. This one's a Ginger Runner one. Another, I follow him on Patreon. So let me just pop it on. So basically, turn it inside out, put your hand inside, and there you go. So why do I wear this? I wear that, well, one, when I've got the camera on, it's more comfortable when I'm wearing that, but I wear it all the time, to be honest, even when I'm not filming, because in the summer, it keeps the sun off my bald head, stopping me from getting burnt. and it soaks up the sweat, so you don't end up with sweat running down into your eyes. In the winter, it keeps your head warm and your ears warm, and again, stops the sweat dripping down your face. So I love these, and almost all the time when you see me running, I'll be wearing one of these. If it was really cold in winter, yeah, you might catch me out wearing a beanie. Here's a high state beanie from sportshoes.com. But it has to be sort of close to zero before I would reach for something like that. And at that time of year, of course, there's just as much chance that you would see me doing exactly the same job with my Santa hat on. Yeah, I'm quite happy making a fool of myself in public. I love the Santa hat. And of course, if you're going to have a Santa hat on, you might as well wear a sleigh bell so the kids think Santa really is coming. So, yeah, so that's headwear. Very important to someone who's follically challenged like me. Then, what else have we got? Where are they? Hang on. Here they are. Pair of gloves. Nothing special about these at all, other than these ones you can get that have got a coloured tip on them, so you can still operate your phone when you're wearing them. Really, for gloves, again, I would not put gloves on until it was sort of below 5 degrees C ish, and they're just to keep me warm, really. So nothing fancy with gloves at all. Then what else have we got? We're getting through this kit, aren't we? Socks. Now, for the most part, I quite like the highest, again, not, if you want to buy any of this stuff, by the way, do go to my website, runadventurer.co.uk, and then follow the links through, which are affiliate links. Basically, it doesn't cost you anything, but because you came from my website to go to buy it, they give me a commission. But I'm recommending, you know, I like the sports shoes stuff, the higher state own brand stuff, because it's very reasonably priced for the sort of kit that you use regularly, you know, you need to replace regularly. So higher state socks, and you know, an ankle sock, I found them good, plenty of support, you know, very comfortable socks then. So I would like to actually get another pair of socks for winter, probably some sealskin ones, because I have had issues on very cold days in winter. I remember when we did the Cavedale, when I went over Mam Tor in January, I had to run up this stream bed, so my feet were cold and wet, and it was close to freezing, but with lots of wind chill as well. And so ran up this stream bed, wet feet. Then you get out of the stream bed, and then you're running through snow, and your feet just get colder and colder and colder. And you, crikey, I'm going to get frostbite here. So just for when it's close to freezing, because most of the time I don't mind my feet getting wet, because they get wet, I'll just run through a stream, don't mind. And 5 minutes later, you're generating heat, so they just steam and dry. But when it gets close to freezing, it would be nice to have some waterproof socks that are warm, just to keep me tootsies warm. I'll let you know what I get. Won't get them yet, I'll get them in the winter. So, what else? We've almost covered all the kit. Well, what else have we got? Let's look. And other things I carry. If I'm doing a longer route or a one-way route, when you stop, you get cold very quickly because, you know, so you might be wearing a t-shirt, but it's 6 or 7 degrees C. So you're fine when you're running, but when you stop, you get cold. That's where something like this, it's small, weighs next to nothing, and will fit in my race pack, my race vest. And as soon as I stop, I'll take this out. Bob it on, and I'm warm. So this is, you know, again, I like Montane, I like Rab, you know, buy a quality brand and you're set for years. So this sort of warm jacket, it's not a super, they do different qualities of these. This isn't the super warmest of warmest ones, but it's, you know, it's fine for running. And so it's Pertex on the outside, so it's waterproof, and, you know, it's got some down in it, so it's whatever the filling is, I'm not sure, but anyway, it keeps you warm. So it just means that when you stop, I'll put that on and I'm not going to get cold, because once you get cold, it can be really difficult to get warm again. So I would carry that. If I was doing something where I needed to carry more kit, so cooking equipment, or I want to bivvy out, or, you know what I mean? So I'm running, but it's a longer affair. I've got this Montane Trailblazer 30 sack, which is comfortable for running. Again, I've talked about this before, I'll link through to that. It's comfortable for running, and you can get all your kit in it. Word to the wise, don't carry too much kit, otherwise you'll find yourself exhausted. You know, yeah, I've done that before. Watch this video if you want to see me exhausted carrying too much weight in this pack. So that's pack. What else have we got? Okay, so there's a couple more things I have typically in my race vest at all times. One is a space blanket. Again, tiny and weighs next to nothing. You can carry this all the time. And just for that odd occasion when you get home and discover you've been locked out and it's freezing cold and snowing, and you've got to wait an hour and a half before somebody comes and lets you in. Very handy. I couldn't lay a hand on it this morning. I've also got one of these sort of foil things that's a bivvy. Again, similar size, and I'll take that. So say, for example, I was going to go and film and I wanted to watch the sun come up. So I want to get up super duper duper early in the middle of the night and then run out to somewhere. And then I want to set up my camera and be there in plenty of time and then wait for the sun to come up. Yeah, then one of these is a bivvy is really great. Weighs next to nothing. You can just then clamber inside it and keep warm while you're waiting. Okay, so anyway, definitely worth carrying something, a space blanket to keep warm. The other thing I often carry is, well, a soft flask. So in the winter, you don't need much water. You know, I might carry one bottle if it's a longer run. In the summer, though, it becomes a real problem because I drink gallons of water in the summer. while I'm running. I just sweat and sweat and sweat. So I'll carry one soft flask. It's a wide-mouthed soft flask, which I'll take filled with water, obviously, but I'll only have one, and that's not going to cover me for the whole time I'm out. So then I bring a water filter. So basically all you do is stick this in a water source and suck through it. But what I actually tend to do is to fill this, refill it from the stream, and then when I want to drink, just pop it into there and drink through that. And it just, as long as you're somewhere where there is water along the, clear water along the way, you're laughing then. You don't need to, because water is one of the heaviest things you have to carry. A kilo of water, a litre of water weighs a kilo. It's it's heavy. So I tend to have those anytime I'm going any distance. I'll have those. What else to carry? So in the back of my backpack, I have a battery pack quite often. This is what I use when I'm filming, so this keeps the camera juiced up. And I'll also have on a longer run, I'd have an iPhone cable plugged into it as well, so I can keep my phone juiced up. And then, of course, as you'll have seen, I have a camera mounted on my head. And then I have a tripod where I can mount my phone, which is a selfie stick, so I can adjust the length of that to shoot to camera. And it's also a tripod, so I can stand it up somewhere and, just use it again to talk to camera or to run past it, what have you. We're almost done. Final thing I have for the winter, when the dark nights draw in and you end up having to run in the dark, I have a light. This one here is, I got this one from Amazon. I'll include a link. This is a chest-mounted one, so it sits on your chest and points down. I tend to wear a chest-mounted one because often I've got the camera on my head, and I quite like that. It illuminates your feet in front of you, and works quite well for me. This one's got a battery life of about 4 or 5 hours, and of course on a longer job I could recharge it from the battery pack, but very rare that I need to do that. And that's pretty much everything I would carry when I'm out running. When I get home, we get on the foam roller. That's an essential piece of kit. But that's it. Was that interesting, useful? Thanks for the suggestion, Keith. I hope some people found that useful. Okay, take care, folks. See you next time.